This is Bob Maloney from MyMMANews, and I have the pleasure of talking to, for the first time, Collin Anglin. Collin is just coming off a great victory on Dana White's Contender Series. He's one of the newest members of the UFC. Collin, great to talk to you. Tell me how you're feeling. It's had to be a crazy week. I know your phone is probably blowing up. I want to thank you for giving us some time. How's the last 3 or 4 days been for you?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's been it's been a crazy week. Just kind of, I don't know. It's just, it's been wild. Kind of like disbelief. I'm really happy with my performance and everything, and how it all ended up, obviously. But it just hasn't sank in yet, I don't think. I don't know. It's been a good week.
It's
just
cloud, right? You're still on that cloud because you know what?
Oh
Obviously,
yeah.
when you first started training, listen. Before we talk about the fight, let's talk a little bit about your path to mixed martial arts. I scrolled through your page a little bit. I seen you wearing a singlet, so obviously you have some kind of wrestling background. Tell me a little bit about that, and when did you become involved in mixed martial arts, interested? When did you think, you know what, this is something I want to do? About what age?
Let's see. So I started wrestling. I mean, I feel like my dad had me in wrestling shoes as soon as I could walk. I wrestled all the way up through high school, and I ended my wrestling career after high school. I started getting into UFC when I was probably in like 6th grade. So I don't even know what year that was. It's probably 2006, maybe. I started watching it, just like with my dad and stuff like that on TV, and I loved it. I loved fighting in general. Just whether it was in hockey or on the playground, I was always getting in little fights and stuff like that growing up. And then so yeah, I really loved watching the UFC, and I always wanted to do it. It was kind of like a dream, but I didn't even know how to go about it. I mean, my dad didn't either, It wasn't like there was a MMA gym in our town. It wasn't a big thing yet. So how to go about it wasn't, it was just like, should you start doing boxing, and it just never really worked out. And then when I was, after I graduated high school and went to college, I was like 18 years old, and my freshman year of college, I was driving around and I saw a sign on the side of the road that said, cage fights at K-Wing Stadium, on this date, call this number. So I called the number, and I thought it'd be funny. And they were like, yeah, we have a fight for you in 2 weeks at 145, at featherweight. And I was like, oh shit, okay. So I called my friends, my family, told them I was fighting in a couple weeks. Called my dad, had him corner me. So my dad was in my corner, and all my friends and family came out to watch. I didn't know anything except for wrestling. I was a good wrestler, and then just like what I saw on TV growing up. So yeah, I just went in there, basically, tried to stand up with the guy a little bit, and my dad was just in my corner, like, take him down, and that's what I did. I wrestled the dude for like 3 rounds and won a decision. And that, like I said, that was just kind of for fun. I still after that, I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna do this and get into the UFC one day. I was just like, I found a gym close by in Kalamazoo called Lightning Kicks, and I trained there for a little while. nothing serious. And then I transferred to Michigan State University, and that's when I joined Scorpion Fighting System in Brighton, Michigan, and that's when it got serious for me. That's when I won my first fight with them when I was like 21 years old, and I when I won that fight, I was like, okay, like I love this, you know. I think I texted my family that night and I said, this is, you know, I'm gonna give this everything I got, and you know, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And they were like, you know, I texted like everyone in my family, like one huge group text, and every one of them were just like, all right, if that's what you want to do, let's do it, you know, give it your all. um, so I started training seriously after that, and I graduated college still with a criminal justice degree. And then um, and then just recently, about 4 months ago, 3 months ago, I I moved with my fiance, my dog. We packed up everything and moved to Denver, Colorado, and now I'm training at Factory X.
Dude, this is so incredible that you saw a sign and you called, and 2 weeks later you're in the cage, man. That is,
Yeah.
first of all, it just shows you had the wrestler in you, but it just shows how much heart you have to go in there and take a fight 2 weeks without training. That's almost incredible. You know what I mean? That's insane. That's one of the craziest stories I ever heard. I actually love that, dude. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan just after hearing that. That is just crazy,
Thank you.
Colin. Insane. Now let's
Yeah, it
talk a
was
little.
nuts.
Let's talk a little bit about your fight, because you were super impressive, and one of the things I loved is your cardio. I mean, it looked to me, obviously you wrestled when you were younger, so you knew that weight cutting and cardio. The thing I want to ask you now, because like to ask a lot of fighters this. Some fighters, for their cardio, don't even like to run anymore. A lot of fighters just like to spar. Where are you in that? Like when you're working on your cardio, you're like, what do you get up and run, or do you just get it all from sparring?
Oh yeah, coach doesn't mess around with out of gym workouts. We have you know, we're required to run and do all that outside of the gym, and I love it. Before, really honestly, before moving to Denver, I I don't know, I just didn't really run a whole lot. I rode the bike a lot in Michigan. And then I moved to Denver, and which is weird too, because my fiance Mary, she's a marathon runner. So you know, she runs every single day, like literally does not take a day off, and I've always hated it. But then when we moved to Denver, I had to, you know, I had to do these long runs a few times a week, and I just found that like if I just run at my pace, you know, like if I run at like a good pace, but my pace, not trying to keep up with her, for example, uh, I love it. So I this whole camp I ran a lot, and I did a lot of hill sprints, and then yeah, obviously, you know, sparring at the gym, and just working hard in general at the gym every single day really helped my cardio.
Well,
But
listen, man, I tell you what, man, it was fun to watch you fight. And listen, let's talk about, do you have any idea? Have you talked to the UFC as far as a timeline? Do you think you might get in the cage before the end of this year, or do you think it'll be sometime in 2021?
yeah, my management's talking to him right now. I think that I'd like to fight before the end of the year. I'd like to fight at least one more time, but you know, that's up to them to find me someone and get that going. But yeah, I'm really excited to start my UFC career and just you know, keep the ball rolling.
Hey, well, listen, after talking to you, I'm a fan, man. I can't. That's such. I still am saying to myself, man, this guy. It's almost like the movie Spider-Man, where he sees, you know, he can win money in the fights and in the wrestling ring. It's like you
Yeah.
driving the sign and seeing cage fights and you're calling. It's such an awesome story, man. What a great way to get your feet wet. And you know, like I said, the wrestling. Listen, wrestlers, everybody talks about it. What a great base it is with the cardio and listen, weight cutting. You've been doing it since you said, since you were in shoes. So it's really simple for you when you're in a really tough weight class. I mean, featherweight. There's a lot of good fighters, man. Collin. Before we go, give some shout outs or to some love. Like you said, obviously your family supporting you has to be huge, but give some, you know, love shout outs to whoever you want, whoever, you know, made you get to this point right now, whoever you want to say hi to and thanks.
Yeah, you know, there's I could go on and on, you know, there's so many people, but obviously, you know, thank you to my team, Factory X in Inglewood, Colorado. You know, my coaches, all my coaches there. You know, you got me ready for this and prepared me well. I want to thank James Krause for, you know, being in my corner last weekend and helping out there. That was huge for me. And then, you know, my old gym, Scorpion Fighting System in Michigan, in Brighton, Michigan, you know, they got me to this point. They got me to Contender Series. And without them, you know, I wouldn't even be sitting here talking to you right now. So huge shout out to them and thank you to them. And then, yeah, just like all my friends and family and you know, I love you guys and all the people messaging me. I'm trying to get back to you. You know, it's a lot right now. It's a lot of messages and I'm trying to get back to everyone because I truly appreciate it. Thank you all.
Collin, once again, congratulations. You worked hard to get where you're at, and you know I got a feeling we'll see you in the octagon plenty of times, man. Good luck on your career. I hope I get to talk to you again after you get some more victories in your pocket, man. Appreciate it. Enjoy this, man. It's such a great thing. I love to see young mixed martial artists, you know, reach their goals. It's you know, it's why I love covering the sport. Congratulations, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Bob. I really appreciate you having me on.
Anytime.
Yeah, thank you. You have a great one.